I'm doing well. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm healthy, happy during the time when a lot of people aren't healthy or happy. So I'm good.
Are you in Southern California right now?
I am. Yeah, I am. Where are you? I see a beautiful tree behind you that does not look native to SoCal.
I'm actually in Fresno, California.
Oh, okay, I know Fresno. My wife used to work up in Fresno.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was a reporter for the CBS station up there, Christine Lazar.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was there for I don't know, a couple years, few years. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people just only stay here for a couple years and they transition elsewhere pretty
Yeah,
quick. So
that's a beautiful place, though. I like it.
great, great, great. Hey, so hey, congratulations on Paydirt.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I'm very very happy with the film. I'm happy with the reception. I'm happy people are happy.
Well, I'm happy that you're happy. So so tell us why you are attracted to something like Paydirt.
Well, Paydirt came to me from my writer, director, producer partner, Christian Sesma. And when he, obviously we about a year ago, we were driving through Tombstone, Arizona, and we said, man, we need to make a movie with Val Kilmer before the end of the year. And then Jack Campbell over at Octane Entertainment said to Christian, hey, I want to do a movie before the end of the year. What do you got? And Christian said, oh, I got this thing, Paydirt, that I want Val Kilmer for. And that's kind of how it started. And we just put all the stars, aligned all the stars and put it all together and made it happen. So yeah, that's Christian and I've obviously had a great working relationship for years. I started out as an actor working in his movies and was I was a TV reporter and producing stuff. And so I eventually, became a producer. And then, that was about 8 years ago now. And we've done a few projects together as director, producer, and I've continued to act in those movies. So, doing Paydirt was a no-brainer. He wrote the role of Jeff for me. It didn't even tell me, just sent me the script and I read it and said, oh, that's the Jeff. That's me. Yeah. Okay. I'll take it. I'm in. Obviously, I was producing it. One less actor I have to pay for. I'm teasing.
Well, hey, whatever works in the industry now these days. Right?
Exactly.
You didn't have many scenes with Val Kilmer, but you probably met him quite a few times. What was he like?
So it's funny. So we met Val before we did the movie. We took just a general meeting with him and myself and Christian, and it was an awesome to meet. One of our. Val's an icon, and he's one of these guys that we've always wanted to work with, and so to be able to get in the room with him at all was incredible, and we're just glad that he trusted us to make something cool and gravitated towards us, and suggested that his daughter be in the movie in that meeting. It wasn't she was not he just said, hey, what do you guys think if I read the script, I love it, what do you think if Mercedes plays Jamie? And so I said, yeah, well, let's meet with her. And he's like, oh, well, you guys don't have to do it. You could take a meeting with her. And so we did and fell in love with her immediately. And she was awesome. And then, Jamie's character, even before Mercedes was there, we always said she was kind of the heart of the movie. So to put her in that role and do that for Val and Val and I behind the scenes, actually, I decided to be, Val's driver. As the producer, I can do whatever I want, right? And
Yeah.
You normally would get a black car, and I just happen to have a car that's black. So I was like, you know what, I'll drive Val around. So I got to hang out with Val for the time that he was on set, and my character was wrapped. So it was awesome. I got a lot of time with him, man. And even though I didn't get to share the screen with him, getting to hang out with him, I'm proud to say that we've become friends, and it's wonderful. Being friends with somebody who's one of your idols as an actor is just incredible. And he's just such an awesome guy, an amazing artist, a true actor, an actor's actor. And it's one of those things where a lot of producers get bad raps in this town, and as an actor / producer and not the other way around, obviously I can talk the talk and hang with these guys, and there's a little more love and trust, I think, there. And so Val and I've become friends. I've become friends with Mercedes, and it's great, man. And then Luke Goss is so awesome. I love Luke too. He's just the best.
Wow. Because I know you had a producer credit. I didn't know that you were practically Val's personal driver.
Yeah. you know, it's one of those things aside from actually, you know, a lot of actors will take producer credits, but I'm actually very physically involved in the development of the script. I hand select all of the crew. I pick all the locations. I have ties to we shot the movie in the Coachella Valley, and I have ties to the Coachella Valley. So we utilize a lot of my resources and Christian's resources, put the two together to really make this happen, because, you know, it's an independent film, you know, so even though it looks big and it was, you know, supposed to go to theatrical release, but, you know, due to COVID, it won't be, you know, it's still something that we have to bring in on a price and on a budget. And so the Coachella Valley was a very friendly place for me to utilize my contacts and resources and combine them with Christians, and you know, and of course some of those are the same contacts. So it's nice, you know, and to be able to tell stars like, hey, we're going to go to Palm Springs, like they're usually going to Palm Springs for a vacation. So to tell them that we're going to go there and make a movie is it's a no-brainer. They all think, oh wow, that's great, I'll go there to shoot. So
I was going to ask about Coachella Valley because I rarely hear anything being filmed in Coachella or Palm Springs. It's you know, it's not the industry. It's not LA, you know.
Right.
Hollywood.
They didn't even shoot the movie Palm Springs in Palm Springs. So you know, the fact that we're doing it out there, and that's not the last. I've got a couple of movies in pre-production right now. One of them is days away from going. We have a Mickey Rourke, Michael Jai White movie that by the time this interview runs will be in production, and you know, we love it out there. I'd shoot all my stuff out there. They're so friendly. They make it easy. County of Riverside's awesome. You know, they want more films to go out there. The cities are great. The city of Coachella is fantastic. Mayor Steven Hernandez is always hooking us up. The Cabazon Band of Mission Indians, they're always taking care of us and giving us locations like Fantasy Springs Casino. So I'm really stoked, and I love it out there. I'll keep shooting out there for sure.
Excellent. Let's talk about your character, Jeff Bentley, or also called the Brain, because what I liked about your character is that your character was funny in an action film. You know, everybody else was all serious, but you kept on cracking jokes, and I understand your background is a little bit of comedy itself.
Yeah. My I trained at the Second City Training Center, and so, you know, to be able to utilize. Oh, my daughter's here. Hi, can you go away for 5 minutes? No. Okay, thanks. She said no. To be able to utilize my comedy background, you know, Christian obviously wrote the role for me. He also let me do a lot of improvisation, which I have a lot of fun doing. So, you know, to be able to do that, and I think these films need that. I think we saw that with the latest Thor. You know, that comedy's good in these action movies, and not everything should be taken so seriously. So to have some comedic thread I think it's important overall, and I'm glad that you know, Christian agrees and puts me in these positions where I can crack jokes and kind of try to steal the show, which is obviously hard from guys like Luke Goss and Val Kilmer.
Daddy, I want to tell you something.
And of course, being the brains, like, you know, when you meet Jeff, you know, so you've seen it. So when you meet Jeff, you think, hold on, babe. When you meet Jeff, you think, there's no way this guy's the brains. But then, of course, by the end of the movie, you realize he knew what was going on the whole time, that he's just very eccentric and funny and weird.
Yeah, I know. When I actually watched the film, I was going, how is this guy the brain? But you're right. It did actually explain everything towards the end. Hey, talk about working with your counterpart, Paul Sloan, who is the Brawn. You guys had like a pretty good relationship in that movie.
Yeah, Paul actually is. Paul is. You know, I've worked with Paul before, and Paul was in Vigilante Diaries. Paul was in Vigilante Diaries, in which I was in as well. I see it, Lola. Thank you, babe. Let me start over. Sorry. Paul's awesome. He's become one of my best friends. He was obviously in Vigilante Diaries with me. I've produced and acted with him before. And, you know, we've become good friends. And you know, over the last couple of years, we got even closer because we were both in Green Book together. So when we did Green Book, we got to go on, you know, the tour, and, you know, which ended, of course, we did our, you know, awards campaign, which of course ended with both of us up on the stage at the Academy Awards when we won Best Picture. So Paul and I have not only traveled the world together as actors, but our careers have kind of traveled through, you know, the rise to, you know, some pretty crazy places. So, you know, Paul and I've been through it. So it's really easy for he and I to be comfortable in front of the lens together. Like it's just the two of us stepping in, and, you know, obviously being a little different than our true selves, but we're very comfortable acting together, and we had a lot of fun. And I really hope we get to do a Paydirt too. That would be great.
Hey, could you walk me through your experience of going onto that stage when they announced Green Book? Because this is the type of experience that most of us will never experience, is to be on that stage when the award announced for the winner.
It was crazy. And then, I could, it obviously, being on that tour, and I mean, obviously the best part of Green Book was obviously making the film and being on set with Viggo and Mahershala and Peter Farrelly, who's one of my favorite directors of all time. But, to go and do that little tour, and like I'd be in rooms talking to Glenn Close and Michael Keaton and Jim Carrey at one point gave us an award, and Jim and I, my mentor Jay Leggett, worked with Jim on In Living Color, and so for just, it was crazy. And then by the end of that night, I'm hugging Julia Roberts, and I've got Lady Gaga saying congratulations to me, and I'm talking to her dad, and I'm saying congratulations to her, and I mean, it was insane. It's insane. And that that said, the whole time I kept going, man, it's never going to get any better than this. And now to get to ride the train and continue to keep making movies and have that now behind me, and I want to get back up there, man. So one of these days, I'm just going to keep making movies and keep trying to make stuff good, and I want to get back up there. That's all that experience did for me, was go, man, it was awesome. It was incredible. It's, as you can imagine, I think I was one of the only people who shot a video from the stage too. So at one point I pulled out my phone. Obviously I wasn't giving a speech. I was just accepting an award. I didn't receive one. so I took the time to really go, oh man, I should grab my phone out. So I grabbed my phone camera out.
You know what? That counts. So
it does, man. It was awesome. So yes, it was everything you'd think it was.
Excellent. Let me talk about a specific scene in the film where you guys basically break into a government facility with you and Paul. Talk about that comedic moment, because it was really funny, especially the fact where you start spewing out Spanish and wearing a mustache.
Well, so that was the first day of filming, and I wanted Jeff to have a mustache, and Christian didn't. And then I said, well, wait, this scene is kind of standalone. And then Christian's like, wait a minute, what if when you have the mask on and we pull it down and reveal, and of course just everybody on set just lost it. So we actually just made it up that day. I had shaved a mustache. I had a beard going into production and had shaved it off and just kept the mustache. So when we thought we'll let it play, and then the whole line about where I'm took theatrical makeup classes in college is just completely ridiculous. And I improvised that. I'm like, I took theatrical stage makeup in college. So, and then of course later on it posed the thing where the makeup artist, I was like, all right, it's got to look like it's real for 1 second, because I had the next day it was gone. We shaved it and we shot the rest of the movie. So, and then the Spanish, like, I don't speak Spanish. I took a couple years in high school, but my Spanish is horrible, which I think is evident in the movie. So we had, one of our co-executive producers, Joel Ontiveros, on one side of the camera, and Jimmy Gonzalez, who's an actor, on the other side of the camera, and of course Christian, who speaks Spanish. So the three of them would just say it like this, un burro. So I'm sitting there trying to say things, and we finally got it. And then literally once we got one take, once we got it where they're all like, okay, that works, it would be moving on. But man, it took me, I think it took me a good 15 minutes to get through that scene. And normally, at this level, we're, Paul and I, especially together, are kind of old hat. Like we can do a couple takes and be done, So, but that was one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie. So I'm glad you like it.
Well, I had to bring it up because I really remember that scene very, very well because it's hilarious. Well, anyways,
Christian wrote it, and you should have seen the dialogue on the page. I mean, he wrote it, and it said Jeff in Spanish, but the lines were written in English. So I rehearsing that, I'm like, what? Like, I don't even know, where do I start? So I told him, I'm not rehearsing that. Just have someone speaking Spanish off, and I'll just repeat it as they say it, and then tell me what it means so I can put something into it. So I think it worked. I think it worked well. I don't know. Well, you tell me.
Well, I did tell you. That's my favorite scene in the film.
Yeah, and then of course I wanted to add the Barcelona and the thief. I think it's the letter C's that they have a little lisp on, so I added that.
Well, you did a terrific job. Well, let me wrap it up with one more question.
Sure.
I'm about to be out of time with you, but could you talk about some of your upcoming projects? Because it seems like it's still a lot more action films. Is that what you tend to gravitate towards?
Right now, I think that's just kind of where the industry took me as far as the producing side goes. So I've got a few action films that I plan to get out before the end of the year. Obviously, the next one is called Take Back and stars Mickey Rourke and Michael J. White and Gillian White and James Russo. And so we're actually going to shoot that in the next few days here back in the Coachella Valley. And the goal really is obviously safety is now the first concern when you're making a movie. It used to be get the shot, and then I think a few years ago we learned that safety is more important with Midnight Rider, and now with COVID going on, I think safety has to be the first thing. So I'm actually stepping back and not going to act. And truthfully, when I read the script, I didn't really gravitate towards any of the roles in the next few projects. I might do a small role in one of them, and then there's 10-00, which is really near and dear to me. That is a really cool project we have that Nicolas Cage is attached to star in, and I do plan on taking a pretty good role in that. If we can, but that's a bigger movie, so to get that done during the time of COVID-19 could be a challenge, but I'm certainly going to try. So I think this first one with Mickey and Michael J. White and James Russo is going to Take Back. Is going to be kind of our test to see that this could be done. And I think on the smaller indie movies, I think we're going to have a lot easier time getting back into to work than the larger movies. Our crews have always been smaller. We've always had to make do with what we had. So I think plus shooting out in the Coachella Valley, it's very hot out there right now. It's about 118, 115 degrees. So we've been scouting, and I think that will help us as well. We can certainly lots of room to spread out, as you saw at the Salton Sea. So we'll be able to socially distance. And I think, so I'm going to step back from the acting side and just focus on producing to make sure that I can keep my cast and my crew safe, get those movies delivered without any incident. And then I want to do some comedies. So I'd love to do a sequel to Paydirt. Actually, I'm putting it out there now. I'm hoping that we've already actually had some responses that said that people wanted to see these characters back. So I'm hoping that, I can get Luke and Val and Paul Sloan, Nick Vallelonga, of course, who wrote and produced Green Book, who I love in the movie. So if we can get the gang back together, it would be awesome.
Excellent. I'm so glad that you're keeping busy during times like this. But I want to let you know that the secret is the indie films are as big as the blockbuster films in times like this, right?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are, man. And it's that's the thing. It's like it does. To me, it doesn't matter whether it was made for $1 million or it was made for $1. If it's fun and you can escape, and that's what we need at this time, right? We need people to be able to sit in front of their TV, and hopefully Paydirt and my character specifically can bring people some laughs and maybe let them think about something else that isn't on the news or that isn't bad.
That's right. That's a great answer. Hey, thank you very much, Mike. I really appreciate it. And
thank you.
Know what? Keep doing what you're doing, because and hopefully you'll get to Paydirt too, because I would love to see all those characters again.
And they could always make Green Book too, about me and the guy in the other car. I think it would be a very boring movie, but you never know.
That's right. Hey, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of the day out there.
Thanks, man. You too. Bye-bye.
Hey, bye-bye.